Now, I tried to give it a few days, just a few days to see if it would surface. From media outlets, new media podcasts, opposing fan channels, but no, nothing. Still, all I hear is this. So tell me this. Where's the LOL Nets coverage? I can't find it anywhere. Not on ESPN, Stephen A., Richard Jefferson, JJ Redick. Y'all don't smell smoke? That bridge ain't burning in Brooklyn? Is this not joke worthy? Listen, all of the ingredients are there. Toxic culture, disgruntled stars, coaching dissatisfaction, front office questions, playoff disappointments. That's usually what's on your shopping list, right? Ain't that the recipe for a salacious headline? Now, wasn't the Nets supposed to have the blueprint for greatness?
I want all the smoke.
We ain't playing with this. Is New York. Guess what?
Best condition, most professional, unselfish, toughest, nastiest, disliked team in the NBA. We didn't care about it. That was our identity, and that's who we were.
What up, Knicks Nation? And welcome back to the Sheer Brands Podcast. As you know, I'm your host, Sheer. And you already know, we first to many and second to none when it comes to news, team moves, and interesting views about our New York Knicks. For those of you who are returning for another video, my SB community, appreciate you. And welcome back, baby. Let's go. Let's talk about our Knicks. But if you're here for the first time, appreciate you too. Or if you're the ops, I see you. I see you in the comment section. And guess what? You rocking with the best, baby.
But I'm the best.
Welcome to my channel. Before we start, help build this movement by liking this video, subscribing, and leaving a comment below, as this content is for you and anyone else who's a fan of basketball. Friend or foe, we want the smoke. And the smoke is exactly what we're covering today, courtesy of the Brooklyn Nets. Now, SB community, calm down. I want to let you know ahead of time, this is not a deep dive video on the Brooklyn Nets. This is not a breakdown of the timeline to the trade request of KD or anything else regarding that other team on the other side of the bridge. This is more so a simple question to the various major media outlets, mainstream, the new media, podcast ops, any of the fan bases who claim to respect the game. What is going on? Where y'all at? And where's the LOL Nets coverage? They got a disgruntled star, actually three disgruntled stars. But it's almost like y'all afraid to eviscerate them on the same level y'all do the New York Knicks. Y'all handle the Brooklyn Nets with kid gloves, I see. When covering the Brooklyn story, I noticed that it's always about the other teams having enough to trade for a star of Durant's caliber. It's about other teams not pulling the trigger on such an outlandish ask from Brooklyn. Not because the ask is ridiculous, but so that they can frame it as if the receiving team wouldn't have enough around Durant to contend with once he arrives. What? What is this, amateur hour? Y'all don't see the 5-alarm fire over there? Just because y'all know he watching, y'all want to speak nice? It's like he got y'all shook. It's like y'all refuse to remind viewers of Kyrie quitting on the Nets and his teammates for whatever reason this past season. Y'all ready to gloss over the fact that he started his tenure with the Nets by saying we really don't need a coach coming in and putting his philosophy on what we do. That's not normal. Y'all not going to keep the fans reminded that this man said KD and I will sit down with the GM and the owner and decide what's best for this team? That's not normal either. Wait, the smoke is bellowing so high and so thick over in Brooklyn, Knicks fans, we see it from the Garden now, and we ain't going to keep quiet about it. Okay? Y'all can't see that smoke? Y'all not going to act like, y'all not going to acknowledge that KD is quitting on another fan base and another group of teammates? Or even an organization that dislodged its young, proven head coach and a young star and a future young all-star with a good working culture that was established and respected across the league. Kenny Atkinson, who breathed life into a squad who had little to no expectation. He revived careers in the process, and together they created a buzz and a culture that a team that is not the flagship team of New York had. And they traded that away for a rookie head coach with no experience and mercurial all-stars who wanted to dictate organizational moves. They both wanted to be LeBron James. Now look at the Brooklyn Nets. They have 3 members of the top 20 players in the league. How do you have an uncertain future with that? How are you not considered a joke? Is Brooklyn a destination franchise now? What do their season ticket sales projections look like? Who wants to play for Brooklyn at this point? Does their fan base even love their stars? And you know I'm being nice by inferring that they have a fan base.
Boy, if you don't stop!
Stephen A. once called the Knicks a national disgrace. What are the Nets right now? Just keep that same energy when you discuss the Knicks. Keep it for the Nets because they're earning it. Where's Max Kellerman and the glass half filled joke? With all of this career movement and bridge burning, what team will want to retire KD's jersey or Kyrie's? If it's truly LOL Nets, and it is, then it's time to start blaming the owner too. Let's drag him in on this. Why not blame Joe Tsai for letting this thing spin out of control? Let's talk about his terrible ownership now, due to the lack of winning since he's been here. The media is scared to troll the Brooklyn Nets, and I don't know why. At the very least, they're afraid to hold them truly accountable. It's common knowledge at this point that there is no pleasing Kevin Durant. He has played with Hall of Fame players his whole career, yet he has never been satisfied. And ESPN is afraid to say it. Are these media types afraid to upset Kyrie and KD? Look, even in a recent segment talking about the Nets, Ramona Shelburne almost said it. And I caught it. It was like you could see her guarding her words and she pulled back at the last minute. I'm like, what is going on? I felt like we were all in Percy Jackson Lightning Thief movie, eating lotus flowers and oblivious to what's going on outside of our own building. That's a great movie. You got to go check it out. I love that movie, Percy Jackson. All right? But no major media outlets would rather talk about anything else but the Knicks and how the Knicks overpaid a much-needed, talented young point guard in Jalen Brunson. Or that they would rather write about the possibility of the Knicks being investigated for tampering because of skillful coaching additions and strategic moves made by our team. All right? Major media would rather insult the Knicks' possible trade for Donovan Mitchell, a 25-year-old all-star not yet in his prime, and label it a desperate move so that they can minimize the move being an important step towards winning by saying it doesn't even move the needle. There's no discussion about the strategic moves by the front office of the Knicks to acquire draft picks and assets that have positioned themselves to be in such an opportunity to get this type of player. But you shower that same type of praise on the GM in OKC or Masai Ujiri. Nah, that's not acceptable. How about you rewrite those articles or record segments on how the Knicks won or dodged the bullet by not extending that max offer to Kevin Durant when he was a free agent? How about that? Because just imagine if KD were demanding a trade as a Knick at this point, like he's doing in Brooklyn. You would be destroying James Dolan. They would be calling Knicks fans toxic and blaming us for running these players out of the Garden. And speaking of Knicks fans, while I get this off my chest, ESPN leads the way and all other media outlets follow with shaming, insulting, and antagonizing Knicks fans. It's absolutely the most backwards thing ever. You rather shame a fan base for being fanatics about the team they follow, the team they believe in and unwaveringly support, as opposed to shaming a fan base that doesn't follow their own team. A team that has 3 of the top 15 and 20 best players in the league on their team. Team that hasn't gotten out of the first round but once. There was even a recent report that after the Nets Game 3 loss versus the Celtics, Nets players asked one of their superstars, Ben Simmons, if he was ready to play Game 4. And allegedly, it was recently reported that Ben Simmons left the group chat without answering what is going on, but let Julius Randle thumbs down to Knicks fans, and ESPN is all over it. So, major media outlets, Stephen A., whoever, what message are you sending? If a player can determine a coaching and a GM change upon request, or even feel emboldened enough to think they could do so, what message are you sending if you don't appropriately call it for what it is? Knicks fans, we feel like Will Smith in the movie Concussion, when the doctor was pleading with the powers that be to tell the truth. Told the truth. No one will talk about the Knicks in a positive way, but the new Knicks media, who are growing rapidly and doing a great job on YouTube. And now it's starting to infiltrate the bigger machine. The Knicks have drafted well. They developed their young players well, young players who have shown talent, character, and strong work ethic. And they're working at getting better every day, all while playing under the brightest lights and scrutiny of New York City. With this notable development of their own players, strategic moves, consciousness of the cap, the Knicks organization doesn't even dive headfirst into poor trade deals no more as they did in years past. Our leadership right now have let it be known that we're prepared to even step away from the negotiating table, that we're prepared to move forward with continuing to build and even insert our members of our young core into the starting lineup if we have to, if this Donovan Mitchell trade doesn't work out. We're prepared for that. We're prepared to even wait another year with the chances of signing Donovan Mitchell as an unrestricted free agent. Don't play with us. This would also leave the Knicks with a great farm system consisting of a treasure trove of first-round draft capital, young players who are trade assets, and cap flexibility. Sounded to me like no better time to find another team to LOL at. It would be a seamless transition, major media, if y'all were real professionals and simply did your jobs. Knicks Nation, what do you think? Anyone else, what do you think? Comment, like, subscribe, leave it in the inbox below. What say you? Until next time, keep in mind the same thing applies to our team that applies to life. If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Knicks fans, we here. And negotiation talks are back on. Let's get Donovan Mitchell because NBA is planning for us in our schedule as if we already have him. We got next. Sheer Brilliance Podcast. I'm out.